Leonardo da Vinci was an Italian painter, draftsman, sculptor, architect, and engineer whose skill and intelligence, perhaps more than that of any other figure, epitomized the Renaissance humanist ideal. Life is pretty simple. You do some stuff. Most fails, some works. You do more of what works. If it works big, others quickly copy it. Then you do something else. The trick is the doing something else. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. Life without love is no life at all. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so life well used brings happy death. Learning never exhausts the mind. The knowledge of all things is possible. As you cannot do what you want what you can do. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. Iron rusts from disuse, stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does inaction sap the vigors of the mind. All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. He who thinks little errs much. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Make your work to be in keeping with your purpose. Once you have tasted the taste of sky, you will forever look up. Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stern resolve. Why does the eye see more clearly when asleep than the imagination when awake? Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. He who truly knows has no occasion to shout. In time and with water, everything changes. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Every action needs to be prompted by a motive. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. Time abides long enough for those who make use of it. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. A beautiful body perishes, but a work of art dies not. Experience does not err. Only your judgments err by expecting from her what is not in her power. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of little minds to shrink, but they whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves their conduct will pursue their principles unto death. One has no right to love or hate anything if one has not acquired a thorough knowledge of its nature. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. The deeper the feeling, the greater the pain. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. To develop a complete mind, study the science of art, study the art of science, learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else. He who does not oppose evil commands it to be done. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. Who sows virtue reaps honor. The acquisition of knowledge is always of use to the intellect because it may thus drive out useless things and retain the good. For nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first known. Experience is a truer guide than the words of others. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Open your eyes. Nature never breaks her own laws. Depth and strength of a human character are defined by its moral reserves. Painting is concerned with all the 10 attributes of sight, which are darkness, light, solidity and color, form and position, distance and propinquity, motion and rest. For verily, great love springs from great knowledge of the beloved object, and if you little know it, you will be able to love it only little or not at all. Just as courage is the danger of life, so is fear its safeguard. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. The natural desire of good men is knowledge. Common sense is that which judges the things given to it by other senses. As every divided kingdom falls, so every mind divided between many studies confounds and saps itself. Every now and then go away, have a little relaxation, for when you come back to your work, your judgment will be surer. Go some distance away because then the work appears smaller, and more of it can be taken in at a glance, and a lack of harmony and proportion is more readily seen. Patience serves as a protection against wrongs as clothes do against cold. For if you put on more clothes as the cold increases, it will have no power to hurt you. So in like manner, you must grow in patience when you meet with great wrongs, and they will then be powerless to vex your mind. All thoughts start from emotions. Whatever you do in life, if you want to be creative and intelligent and develop your brain, you must do everything with the awareness that everything, in some way, connects to everything else. Be a mirror. Absorb everything around you and still remain the same. Your brain is much better than you think. Just use it. I am not poor. Poor are those who desire many things. A diamond is just a lump of coal that stuck to its job. Man's external form, marvelously constructed, is not much as compared with the divine soul that dwells inside that structure. Learning is the only thing that never disappoints us. Love shows itself more in adversity than in prosperity, as light does, which shines most where the place is darkest. Virtue is our true wealth and the true reward of its possessor. It cannot be lost. It never deserts us until life leaves us. Whoever does not respect life does not deserve it. To be a winner, you must want to win, but must know of the chance of losing, and must not fear of it. Reprove your friend in secret and praise him openly. An arch consists of two weaknesses which, leaning one against the other, make a strength. You will never have a greater or lesser dominion than that over yourself. The height of a man's success is gauged by his self-mastery, the depth of his failure by his self-abandonment. And this law is the expression of eternal justice. He who cannot establish dominion over himself will have no dominion over others. He who can copy can do. One can have no more mastery over the environment than one has over himself. Art is never finished, only abandoned. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. While I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her own logic, her own laws. She has no effect without cause nor invention without necessity.